So hey guys, in this video here we're going to be looking at adding and subtracting negative numbers. So your learning goal for today is that hopefully you can identify the rule of how to follow the rule when we're adding and subtracting negative integers, and also how to actually do that using a number line. So we need to do a bit of backtracking here before we move on. So in our previous lesson we looked at integers and negative numbers and how they sort of follow a direction when we're adding or subtracting positive integers. So if we have if we're subtracting, we move in the negative direction, okay, into the left, and if we're adding, we move in the positive direction. Hopefully also you remember that we use the origin and we have our positive and negative integers, and the result will depend on which direction we move. But I want to put a question to you and see if we can work this out using our problem solving. And the question is, what will happen if you have two directions in the middle of your sum? So I've got two examples here. So what happens if we have 5 plus negative 3, okay? So we have 5 and negative 3. Alternatively, what if we have negative 3 minus or subtract negative 4? So what do we do here if we, for example, we start on 5? How do we add a negative number? Which direction do we go? Now that can be quite confusing. It's not as simple as just using in the positive and negative direction, but if you follow this simple rule, it'll be able to help you with answering these questions. I'm going to get you to make sure that you write this down. So the rule is like this. It's as long as you understand, it'll be quite simple. So the rule is basically, if you have two like signs, okay? So if you have a plus, which we move obviously in the positive direction, and a positive number, that becomes a positive sign. Also, if you have a minus, or so you have minus a negative number, see how both those symbols are the same? That then becomes a positive. The alternative for that is if you have two of the unlike signs. So if you have adding a negative number, or if you have subtracting a positive number, then that becomes a negative sign. So the examples are here, okay? So we have 3 plus positive 2. Now obviously they are both the same symbol, so that becomes a positive. If we highlight these ones here as well, see how they are the same? We have a minus a negative number. They're both the same symbol, so again, as the rule says, that becomes a positive sign. If we have different or unlike signs, so if we have 7 plus negative 2, so I can see here we have two unlike signs, that becomes a negative, and the same as well. So if we have 8 minus a positive number, that it becomes a minus symbol. So if you can just simply write down this key part here, it'll be able to help you as we move forward. So two like signs become a positive sign, and two unlike signs become a negative sign. So if we go back to our examples here, knowing that rule now, so I can see here that we have two unlike signs, so this becomes a negative. So I can basically cross that out, and this is basically becomes 5 minus 3, which is easy to do. We can now perform our normal number line function here. However, if we have negative 3 minus negative 4, they are both like signs, so that now becomes a positive. So it is negative 3 plus 4, and again, that would be easy to do now on our number line. So we're going to do some examples here just so we can really make sure, reinforce that learning. And we're going to do these 4 examples here together using these number lines. So again, as always, we start with our number that we have on our left. That's our starting point. So we have positive 10, and we are adding negative 3. They are unlike signs, so that means it's going to become negative. So that's going to be minus 3. So I have 1, 2, 3. Again, I'm moving in the negative direction. So my answer there is 7. Now I start at negative 3, and I have plus minus 5. Again, two unlike signs. So that basically becomes a subtraction symbol. So it is negative 3 minus 5. I'll move 5 spaces in the negative direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which gives me the answer of negative 8. Now I have 4, I'll start at 4, and I'm minusing a negative number, and they are two like signs. So that's basically just saying 4 plus 2. 4 plus 2 becomes positive 6. And finally we have negative 11, which will be this one down here. I'll add it to my list. I have minus negative 6. Two like signs, that basically becomes a positive, so it is plus 6. 11 plus 6, moving in the positive direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, leaves me with -5. So make sure again that you're copying down these as we go through and you understand your learning goals for this lesson. Remember that rule and that'll help you as we move forward. Thanks guys.